If you've been noticing that your legs feel a little weaker when you climb stairs, or maybe you've caught yourself grabbing the armrest a bit harder when you stand up from the couch, or perhaps you've felt that familiar stiffness in your lower back after sitting for a while, then what I'm about to share with you might completely change how you think about getting older. You see, most people believe that slowing down is just part of aging, that it's natural and inevitable. But what I've learned after years of working with people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s is that much of what we blame on age is actually something quite different. And the good news is that it's something you can do something about. The truth is that your body doesn't just decide one day to become weak or unsteady or stiff. What happens is much more gradual and much more specific. Every time you avoid using a muscle or a movement pattern because it feels uncomfortable or because you've simply stopped doing it, that part of your body begins to quietly lose its ability to function the way it used to. Your legs don't get weaker because you turn 60 or 65 or 70. They get weaker because they're not being asked to do the things that keep them strong. Your balance doesn't vanish because of some birthday. It fades because the systems that control balance, the ones in your inner ear and your brain and your ankles, aren't being trained anymore. Your back doesn't hurt because of age. It hurts because the muscles that support your spine have been underused for so long that they've forgotten how to do their job properly. And here's what makes this so important to understand. Leading researchers at places like Harvard and Stanford and the National Institute on Aging have been studying this for decades, and they've all come to the same conclusion. A very large portion of what we think of as physical aging can actually be reversed, not with surgery or expensive treatments or complicated programs, but with the right kind of movement, the kind that specifically targets the systems your body relies on to stay functional and independent. I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting heavy weights or spending hours at a gym. I'm talking about 5 straightforward exercises that you can do at home that don't require special equipment and that work directly on the parts of your body that matter most as you get older. These 5 movements address your cardiovascular health, your leg strength, your back stability, your balance, and your core. And when you work on all 5 of these areas consistently, you start to reverse the decline that most people just accept as normal. You begin to walk faster, stand easier, move with more confidence, and feel more like yourself again. So, let me walk you through each of these 5 exercises, explain exactly why they're so effective, and show you how to do them in a way that's safe and sustainable. The first one is simply walking at a faster pace than you normally would. Now, I'm not asking you to jog or run or push yourself to the point of exhaustion. I'm talking about walking at a speed that's just a bit quicker than your usual stroll, enough to make your breathing a little deeper, but not so fast that you can't carry on a conversation. Why does this matter so much? Because when you walk faster, your body has to use oxygen more efficiently, and that ability to use oxygen, which scientists call VO2 max, is one of the strongest indicators of longevity that we have. It's more predictive of how long you'll live than your cholesterol levels, your blood pressure, or even your body weight. Fast walking strengthens your heart, improves circulation, reduces inflammation throughout your body, and keeps your cells energized. A major study from Harvard followed thousands of older adults and found that those who walked at a faster pace lived significantly longer, in some cases up to 20 years longer than those who walked slowly. So aim for 20 to 30 minutes of brisk walking several times a week, and you'll be doing one of the most powerful things you can do for your long-term health. The second exercise is called sit to stand, and if you want to maintain your independence as you age, this one is absolutely essential. It's exactly what it sounds like. You sit down in a chair and then stand back up, and you repeat that movement 10 to 15 times. Why is this so important? Because every single time you stand up, you're using your thighs, your glutes, your hips, your core, and your balance system all at once. These are the exact muscles and reflexes that allow you to walk, climb stairs, get out of a car, and move around your home without assistance. Research from Harvard Health showed that older adults who practice this movement regularly increased their lower body strength by more than 40% in just 8 weeks. Even more striking is the fact that your ability to stand up from a chair without using your hands is one of the best predictors of whether you'll be able to live independently in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. To do this exercise, sit toward the front of a sturdy chair with your feet about hip-width apart. Lean forward slightly from your hips and then stand up in a controlled way. Lower yourself back down gently and repeat. If you need to use your hands on the armrests or on your thighs at first, that's perfectly fine. As you get stronger, you'll naturally rely on them less. The third exercise is a movement called the hip hinge, and it's one of the safest and most effective ways to strengthen your back and protect your spine. Don't let the name intimidate you. This is a gentle movement that teaches your body how to bend properly while strengthening all the muscles along the back of your body, from your lower back down through your hamstrings and glutes. To do it, stand with your feet about hip-width apart and hold something light in your hands, like a pair of small dumbbells or even 2 water bottles. Then, keeping your back straight, push your hips backward, as if you're trying to close a car door with your backside, and let your torso lean forward naturally. You should feel a stretch along the back of your legs. Then push through your heels and stand back up tall. This movement is incredibly important because it trains the exact mechanics you use every time you pick something up off the floor or bend over to tie your shoes. When your back and hip muscles are strong and working properly, everything from walking to carrying groceries becomes easier and safer, and you're far less likely to experience the chronic back pain that so many people just accept as part of getting older. The fourth exercise might surprise you because it's so simple, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do for both your body and your brain. It's called the one-leg stand, and all you do is stand on one foot for 10 to 20 seconds, then switch to the other foot. You can hold on to a chair or a countertop lightly for support at first, and as you get more confident, you can try it with less support or even with your eyes closed for a more advanced challenge. Why does this matter? Because your ability to balance on one leg is directly connected to the health of your brain, specifically the part of your brain called the cerebellum, which controls coordination and balance. A study from Japan that followed thousands of older adults found that those who could balance on one leg for at least 10 seconds had better overall brain health and lived significantly longer than those who couldn't. This exercise also strengthens the small stabilizing muscles in your ankles and hips, improves your reflexes, and dramatically reduces your risk of falling, which is one of the most serious health threats for older adults. Practicing this for just a minute or two a few times a week can make a huge difference in how steady and confident you feel when you move around. The fifth and final exercise is called the bird dog, and it's one of the best ways to strengthen your core and stabilize your spine without putting any strain on your back. To do it, get down on your hands and knees on a comfortable surface like a yoga mat or a folded towel. Then slowly lift your right arm straight out in front of you while at the same time lifting your left leg straight out behind you. Hold that position for a few seconds, then lower back down and repeat on the opposite side, lifting your left arm and your right leg. The key is to move slowly and smoothly without any jerking or rushing. This exercise strengthens the deep muscles in your abdomen and lower back that support your spine, improves your coordination, and helps your posture stay tall and aligned. It's used all over the world in physical therapy because it's so effective at reducing back pain and building the kind of core strength that supports every other movement you do. So let me bring this all together for you. When you do brisk walking, you're keeping your heart and lungs young. When you do sit to stand, you're keeping your legs strong and your independence intact. When you do the hip hinge, you're protecting your back and teaching your body how to move safely. When you practice the one-leg stand, you're sharpening your balance and keeping your brain healthy. And when you do the bird dog, you're building the core stability that holds everything else together. These 5 exercises work together to reverse the physical decline that most people think is just a normal part of aging. You don't need to do them every single day, and you don't need to push yourself to exhaustion. 3 or 4 times a week is plenty. What matters most is consistency. If you stick with these movements, you'll start to notice real changes within just a few weeks. You'll feel steadier on your feet. You'll stand up more easily. You'll walk faster and with more confidence. You'll have less stiffness and more energy. Your posture will improve, and everyday tasks that used to feel hard will start to feel natural again. The reality is that you're not slowing down because of how many candles are on your birthday cake. You're slowing down because certain parts of your body have stopped being challenged, and when you start challenging them again, even in small ways, they respond. Your strength is what keeps you young. Your balance is what keeps you independent, and your consistency is what makes all the difference. There's no reason to wait. You can start today, right where you are, and begin building a stronger, steadier, more capable version of yourself.